Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of hidden treasures as we explore the top 4 ultra-rare and most valuable Roosevelt Dime coins that collectors and investors are always searching for. These tiny 10-cent coins may look ordinary, but certain rare dates, mint marks, and minting errors have made some Roosevelt Dimes worth thousands, tens of thousands, and even hundreds of thousands of dollars. While most Roosevelt Dimes are common, a handful of rare varieties have become legendary among collectors. So before you spend that old dime, make sure to stay until the end because you might be holding a valuable hidden treasure in your pocket. Alright everyone, let's get started. First up, the remarkable 2017 Roosevelt Dime with the P mint mark in excellent condition. At first glance, this small silver-colored coin may appear to be nothing more than an ordinary dime that has quietly passed through countless hands. But experienced collectors know that even modern coins can hide extraordinary stories and surprising collectible potential. Every carefully preserved detail, every crisp design element, and every mark left by years of careful handling creates a fascinating journey that transforms this tiny 10-cent coin into an important piece of modern American numismatic history. The Roosevelt Dime has remained one of the most recognizable coins in United States history since it was first introduced in 1946. The design was created to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, whose leadership during some of America's most difficult years left an unforgettable legacy. His portrait has appeared on the dime for generations, making it one of the most familiar images in American coinage. Millions of people have carried Roosevelt Dimes every day without realizing that each coin represents decades of history, remarkable craftsmanship, and the continuing tradition of the United States Mint. The P mint mark beneath the date tells collectors that this particular dime was struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint. Every 2017 Roosevelt Dime produced there began its journey with brilliant surfaces, sharply defined lettering, outstanding details, and beautiful mint quality. Fresh from the coining presses, these dimes entered circulation ready to serve millions of Americans in their daily lives. Although countless examples were produced, every surviving coin has followed its own completely unique path, making each circulated or preserved example different from every other one. The year 2017 represented another exciting chapter in modern American history. Families continued embracing new technology, businesses expanded, travel increased, and digital payments became more common than ever before. Yet despite these changes, millions of Roosevelt Dimes remained an essential part of everyday commerce. They paid for snacks, parking meters, public transportation, convenience store purchases, vending machines, and countless everyday transactions while quietly becoming part of thousands of unforgettable moments. A 2017 Roosevelt Dime preserved in excellent condition offers collectors a wonderful balance between attractive preservation and genuine history. The coin still displays strong design details, smooth surfaces, and impressive eye appeal while honestly reflecting its journey through circulation. Excellent condition allows collectors to admire much of the original artistry while appreciating the real-life experiences that helped shape the coin's remarkable story over the years. Imagine where this fascinating dime may have traveled throughout its lifetime. It may have rested inside the wallet of a college student, traveled across several states during a family vacation, or been exchanged at busy grocery stores, coffee shops, restaurants, and neighborhood businesses. Perhaps it purchased a refreshing drink on a warm afternoon, helped pay for public transportation, or quietly waited inside a cash register before beginning another journey. Every exchange added another memorable chapter to the history carried by this remarkable little coin. One of the greatest pleasures of coin collecting comes from understanding that every circulating coin quietly connects countless people across many different generations and walks of life. This 2017 Roosevelt Dime may have passed through the hands of teachers, doctors, mechanics, students, travelers, business owners, cashiers, delivery drivers, parents, and grandparents. None of them realized they were helping create the remarkable history that now makes this coin so fascinating to collectors around the world. The obverse proudly displays the distinguished portrait of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. His calm expression symbolizes courage, determination, leadership, and hope during difficult times in American history. Even years after its release, the portrait continues inspiring admiration because it reminds collectors of Roosevelt's enduring influence on the nation. In excellent condition, the portrait retains much of its original sharpness, allowing the beautiful craftsmanship to remain clearly visible. Turning the coin over reveals the classic reverse design featuring the Torch of Liberty standing proudly between an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch symbolizing strength and independence. Together, these meaningful symbols communicate important national values while creating one of the most elegant reverse designs ever placed on an American circulating coin. Even after years of careful use, an excellent condition example continues displaying these important details with impressive clarity. Collectors often appreciate excellent condition Roosevelt Dimes because they preserve outstanding design features while honestly reflecting years of faithful service. Every tiny contact mark, every naturally aged surface, and every subtle indication of careful handling contributes to the unique personality of the coin. These authentic characteristics cannot be duplicated artificially, giving every surviving dime its own remarkable identity. Every 2017 Roosevelt dime struck at the Philadelphia Mint followed a different journey after leaving the coining presses. Some remained inside major cities where they changed hands many times every day. Next up, the 1999 Roosevelt One Dime with the P Mint mark in circulated condition. At first glance, this small 10-cent coin may seem like nothing more than ordinary pocket change that has spent years traveling from one wallet to another. However, experienced collectors know that every Roosevelt dime has its own remarkable story, shaped by countless transactions, years of faithful service, and a unique journey through modern American history. Every tiny scratch, every naturally worn surface, and every softened design detail represents another chapter in the life of this remarkable little coin. The Roosevelt dime first entered circulation in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, whose leadership during challenging years forever changed the course of American history. Designed shortly after his passing, the coin became a lasting tribute to one of the nation's most respected presidents. For generations, Americans have carried Roosevelt dimes in their pockets without realizing that each one represents a beautiful combination of history, artistic craftsmanship, and national heritage. Decade after decade, this small coin has remained one of the most recognizable pieces of United States currency. The P Mint mark beneath the date tells us that this particular dime was struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint. Every 1999 Roosevelt dime produced there began its journey with brilliant mint surfaces, crisp lettering, sharp details, and outstanding quality. Fresh from the coining presses, these dimes entered circulation ready to become part of everyday American life. Although millions were produced during 1999, every surviving example followed its own completely different journey, making each coin unique in ways that collectors truly appreciate. The year 1999 was filled with excitement as people prepared to welcome a brand new millennium. Communities continued growing, businesses embraced advancing technology, families celebrated important milestones, and millions of Americans experienced one of the most memorable years in recent history. Throughout this remarkable period, Roosevelt dimes quietly entered circulation and became trusted companions in everyday commerce. They purchased newspapers, snacks, drinks, parking, bus fares, convenience store items, and countless everyday necessities while silently witnessing thousands of ordinary moments that together became unforgettable memories. A circulated 1999 Roosevelt dime possesses a kind of beauty that only years of honest use can create. Unlike coins preserved immediately after leaving the mint, a circulated example reflects genuine history through every naturally worn surface. Every small mark tells a story, every softened detail reflects countless exchanges, and every sign of circulation reminds collectors that this coin fulfilled the purpose for which it was originally created. These authentic characteristics give circulated examples a personality that cannot be artificially duplicated. Imagine where this fascinating dime may have traveled throughout its remarkable lifetime. It may have rested inside the pocket of a college student rushing between classes, traveled across the country with a family on vacation, or passed through the cash registers of busy supermarkets, coffee shops, and neighborhood stores. Perhaps it helped purchase a newspaper announcing the arrival of the new millennium, paid for a refreshing drink during a hot summer afternoon, or quietly waited inside a vending machine before continuing another incredible journey. One of the greatest pleasures of coin collecting comes from realizing that every circulated coin quietly connects countless people who may never meet one another. This 1999 Roosevelt Dime may have passed through the hands of teachers, doctors, mechanics, business owners, travelers, students, cashiers, factory workers, parents, and grandparents. Every exchange added another invisible chapter to its remarkable history, creating a story that continues growing with every passing year. The obverse proudly displays the distinguished portrait of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. His calm expression reflects leadership, courage, determination, and optimism during difficult moments in American history. Even after years of circulation, much of the original artistic detail remains visible in a well-preserved circulated example. Collectors continue admiring Roosevelt's portrait because it represents one of the most meaningful and enduring designs in modern American coinage. Turning the coin over reveals the familiar reverse featuring the torch of liberty standing proudly between the olive branch of peace and the oak branch symbolizing strength and independence. Together, these powerful national symbols create a timeless design admired by generations of collectors. Even after years of circulation, the reverse continues preserving much of its original beauty while reminding us of the values upon which the nation was built. Collectors especially appreciate circulated Roosevelt dimes because every example develops its own completely unique character over time. Every naturally aged surface, every tiny contact mark, and every gentle sign of circulation contributes to the individuality of the coin. Unlike newly minted examples, circulated coins carry visible evidence of their remarkable journeys, making each surviving dime unlike any other. Every 1999 Roosevelt dime struck at the Philadelphia Mint followed its own extraordinary adventure after leaving the coining presses. Some remained inside large cities where they changed hands countless times every week. Others quietly circulated through rural towns, suburban neighborhoods, airports, schools, hospitals, and shopping centers across America. Some were placed into collections shortly after release, while many others faithfully served the public for decades before finally attracting the attention of collectors. Holding this circulated dime today creates an immediate connection to another era. It reminds us of the final year before the 21st century began, when people looked toward the future with excitement and anticipation. During those unforgettable months, Roosevelt dimes remained an essential part of daily commerce while quietly becoming witnesses to one of history's most significant turning points. Many families unknowingly preserved Roosevelt dimes inside piggy banks, dresser drawers, kitchen jars, coffee cans, purses, old wallets, and family coin albums. Next up, the 2000 Roosevelt 1 dime with the P Mint mark in circulated condition. At first glance, this tiny 10-cent coin may appear to be nothing more than ordinary change that has quietly traveled through thousands of hands over the years. However, experienced collectors understand that every Roosevelt dime carries its own remarkable story, shaped by countless transactions, years of faithful service, and unforgettable moments in everyday American life. Every naturally worn edge, every tiny contact mark, and every softened detail creates a unique identity that transforms this small coin into a fascinating piece of modern numismatic history. The Roosevelt dime first appeared in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, one of the most influential leaders in American history. Shortly after his passing, the United States Mint introduced this beautiful design as a lasting tribute to his leadership, courage, and dedication to the nation. Since then, the Roosevelt dime has remained one of the most familiar coins carried by millions of Americans every single day. Although many people spend these coins without a second thought, collectors recognize the remarkable history and artistic craftsmanship preserved within every single example. The P Mint mark identifies this particular dime as having been struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most respected minting facilities in the United States. Every 2000 Roosevelt dime produced there began its journey with brilliant mint surfaces, crisp lettering, sharp design details, and exceptional manufacturing quality. Fresh from the coining presses, these dimes entered circulation ready to become part of everyday life across America. Although millions were produced during the year 2000, every surviving coin followed its own completely different path, making each one unique. The year 2000 was a historic moment that captured the attention of the entire world. It marked the beginning of a brand new century and a new millennium filled with hope, technological innovation, and exciting possibilities. Families celebrated this unforgettable milestone together while businesses embraced modern technology and communities looked confidently toward the future. Throughout this extraordinary year, millions of Roosevelt Dimes quietly entered circulation and faithfully served the American public by paying for groceries, bus fares, snacks, newspapers, vending machines, convenience store purchases, and countless everyday necessities. A circulated 2000 Roosevelt dime possesses a special beauty that only honest use can create. Unlike coins preserved immediately after leaving the mint, circulated examples proudly display evidence of their remarkable journeys. Every gently worn surface reflects years of faithful service, while every tiny mark reminds collectors that this coin participated in thousands of real-life transactions. These authentic signs of circulation create character that cannot be artificially duplicated, making every surviving dime completely different from all others. Imagine where this remarkable dime may have traveled throughout its lifetime. Perhaps it rested inside the pocket of a student attending school during the exciting first year of the new millennium. Maybe it accompanied a family during a memorable summer vacation, helped pay for a morning cup of coffee, or traveled across several states inside the wallet of a hardworking truck driver. Every exchange quietly added another unforgettable chapter to the fascinating story carried by this tiny coin. One of the greatest joys of coin collecting comes from realizing that every circulated coin quietly connects countless people who will never meet one another. This 2000 Roosevelt dime may have passed through the hands of teachers, doctors, mechanics, nurses, students, business owners, travelers, restaurant workers, cashiers, parents, and grandparents. None of them could have imagined that decades later this very same dime would become an admired collectible appreciated by enthusiasts around the world. The obverse proudly features the distinguished portrait of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. His calm expression symbolizes determination, leadership, courage, and hope during some of the most challenging periods in American history. Even after years of circulation, much of the original artistic beauty remains visible in a well-preserved circulated example. Collectors continue admiring Roosevelt's portrait because it represents one of the finest and most meaningful designs ever created for modern American coinage. Turning the coin over reveals the timeless reverse design featuring the Torch of Liberty standing proudly between an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch symbolizing strength and independence. Together, these meaningful national symbols create a beautifully balanced design that continues inspiring admiration from collectors generation after generation. Even after years of circulation, much of the original detail remains clearly visible on carefully preserved examples. Collectors especially enjoy circulated Roosevelt dimes because every example develops its own individual personality over time. Every naturally aged surface, every tiny contact mark, every softly polished high point, and every subtle sign of circulation tells another part of the coin's remarkable journey. These authentic characteristics cannot be recreated by artificial methods, giving every circulated dime its own completely unique appearance. Next up, the fascinating 2016 Roosevelt One dime with the P mint mark in circulated condition. At first glance, this small 10-cent coin may seem like an ordinary piece of change that has quietly passed through countless hands. However, collectors understand that every Roosevelt dime has its own remarkable journey, filled with history, everyday adventures, and hidden collectible appeal. Every tiny mark, every naturally worn surface, and every softened detail reflects years of honest circulation, making this coin much more than just another dime. It is a silent witness to modern American life and an exciting collectible waiting to be appreciated. The Roosevelt dime has remained one of the most recognized coins in the United States since its introduction in 1946. Created to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the design quickly became a lasting symbol of leadership, courage, and perseverance. For decades, millions of Americans have carried Roosevelt dimes in their pockets, wallets, purses, and coin jars without realizing that every single example represents an important piece of American history. The timeless portrait of Roosevelt continues inspiring collectors who admire both the historical significance and artistic beauty of this enduring design. The P Mint mark tells collectors that this particular dime was struck at the famous Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most respected minting facilities in the United States. Every 2016 Roosevelt Dime produced there left the mint with brilliant surfaces, sharply defined lettering, and outstanding detail. Although millions entered circulation during that year, each surviving coin has followed its own unique journey, creating individual stories that make every example different from every other coin. The year 2016 was an exciting time filled with technological innovation, expanding businesses, family celebrations, and countless everyday experiences. Across America, people relied on Roosevelt dimes during thousands of daily transactions. These small coins helped purchase morning coffee, snacks, newspapers, bus fares, parking meter time, convenience store items, and countless other necessities. Quietly moving from one person to another, every dime became part of ordinary moments that together formed extraordinary memories. A circulated 2016 Roosevelt dime possesses a unique charm that only years of honest use can create. Rather than displaying untouched mint brilliance, circulated examples proudly show evidence of real-life service. Every naturally worn high point, every tiny contact mark, and every softly aged surface tells another chapter of the coin's remarkable journey. These authentic characteristics cannot be recreated, making every circulated dime completely unique. Imagine where this fascinating dime may have traveled throughout its remarkable lifetime. It may have rested inside the wallet of a hardworking office employee, traveled across several states during a memorable family vacation, or passed through busy grocery stores, shopping malls, coffee shops, restaurants, and neighborhood businesses. Perhaps it purchased a child's favorite snack after school, helped pay for public transportation, or quietly waited inside a cash register before beginning another exciting adventure. One of the greatest joys of coin collecting comes from realizing that every circulated coin connects countless people across different generations and different walks of life. This 2016 Roosevelt dime may have passed through the hands of students, teachers, doctors, mechanics, nurses, business owners, travelers, cashiers, parents, and grandparents. None of them could have imagined that decades later this very same dime would become an admired collectible appreciated by enthusiasts throughout the world. The obverse proudly features the distinguished portrait of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. His calm and determined expression continues symbolizing leadership, strength, optimism, and courage during difficult times in American history. Even after years of circulation, a carefully preserved example retains much of its original artistic beauty, allowing collectors to admire the remarkable craftsmanship that has made this portrait one of the most familiar designs in American coinage. Turning the coin over reveals the elegant reverse featuring the Torch of Liberty standing proudly between an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch symbolizing strength and independence. These meaningful national symbols combine to create one of the most balanced and attractive reverse designs ever used on an American circulating coin. Even in circulated condition, much of the design remains clearly visible, reflecting both durability and outstanding craftsmanship. Collectors especially appreciate circulated Roosevelt dimes because every surviving example develops its own individual personality through years of everyday use. Every naturally aged surface, every tiny scratch, every softened design element, and every subtle sign of circulation reflects the coin's remarkable history. Unlike newly minted examples, circulated coins proudly display authentic evidence of their extraordinary journeys. Every 2016 Roosevelt dime struck at the Philadelphia Mint followed its own completely different adventure after leaving the coining presses. Some remained inside large cities where they changed hands several times every day. Others quietly circulated through rural communities, suburban neighborhoods, schools, hospitals, airports, and family-owned businesses. Some entered collections almost immediately after release, while countless others continued faithfully serving the public before eventually catching the attention of collectors. Holding a 2016 Roosevelt dime today creates an immediate connection to recent American history. It reminds us that despite the growth of smartphones, online shopping, digital banking, and electronic payments, physical coins continue playing an important role in everyday commerce. Every transaction quietly added another invisible chapter to this remarkable coin's fascinating story. Many families unknowingly preserve Roosevelt dimes inside piggy banks, dresser drawers, kitchen jars, old purses, wallets, and family coin collections. Years later, these forgotten coins often become treasured keepsakes passed from grandparents to children and grandchildren. Their sentimental value frequently grows alongside their collectible appeal because they preserve both family memories and important pieces of American history. Okay,